I can move now. And, man, I was wanting to draw it. Anyways, greetings, creatures and humans alike. I am MagiQDog, and on tonight's Creature of the Week stream, we are going to be learning about one of my favorite mythical creatures from native mythology, which is the Wendigo. Which is a creature I should have drawn like I normally do, but I will admit I was in a bit of a rush. You see, there was so much information that I had to catch up on the Wendigo and stuff that I just finished the information about 30 minutes ago. So yeah, there was a lot to go into this. So this creature of the week is going to be kind of long, just like how the mermaid and the kelpie is, which you guys should totally check out, by the way. It's on my YouTube page. But anyways, I rambled on enough. And let's see. Let's go on ahead and get the information done with the class. So, is everyone seated? Is everyone ready? Alright, then let us get this class started. After I do something real quick, give me just a second. Blech. Okay. So, the Wendigo is one of the most terrifying mythical creatures to come from Native American myths and legends, and is expanded to multiple different tribes under the Algonquin language. The Wechuge defines the creatures as the winter cannibal monster. By the way, I will apologize for any mispronunciations and stuff, so please forgive me. Anyways, the Wendigo seems to come in two forms. The first one is told in Creek mythology. Believe the Wendigo as a powerful evil spirit capable of possessing a human. The spirit Wendigo, which I'll talk more about later, doesn't really seem to have a description. But then again, as a spirit, I'm sure any form will come to mind, really. Now, the Wendigo with physical forms is a different story. They appear as humanoid creatures, although they are starved to near death. Their ashy gray dry skin is tightly wrapped around their hungry bodies to the point that their let's see. Wait, why did I put that right there? Anyways, to the point that their bones are visible and protruding out. They appear like a gaunt skeleton figure filled with the smell of decay and death. Their eyes are sunken into their eye sockets, sometimes glowing in a deep yellow, red, or even white. Their mouths are full of razor, needle-like sharp teeth. Sometimes a Wendigo may have no lip, for they simply chew it off to eat it. Let's see. They also have long and sharp claws that they use to tear apart flesh. They may be covered in fur or are as hairless as a naked moat. They may also have normal ears or pointed ones as well. In some myths, like the Cree and Innu, Wendigos are cannibal giants, or creatures that grow to gigantic size whenever they eat. Ugh. Anyways, in the myths and legends, Wendigos are bloodthirsty cannibalistic creatures that are associated with winter, greed, gluttony, famine, and starvation. They will roam the cold woodlands of northern US and Canada as their hunting grounds, waiting for any foolish human to leave the safety of their home and tribe. They are excellent hunters, able to traverse through the snow and ice, and easily move through the woods with ease, even in the night. Once they have a target in sight, a Wendigo will attempt to kill and devour its meal. By having an undying hunger, no matter how much they eat, they will never feel even a second of fullness. This results in them constantly hungry with an insatiable desire for human flesh. As such, Wendigos are constantly on the hunt and devouring any humans they catch. Or sometimes like that, as I'll explain later on in the video. Anyways, the Wendigo spirit is just as horrible. The spirit, often described as a singular entity, or multiples depending on the myth, is believed to be a powerful force of starvation in the cold winters. The spirit will hunt the... Hang on a second. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, the spirits will hunt the woodlands, fighting humans whether they are lost, weak, or simply away from the tribe. Then the spirit will possess the person, sometimes in a slow process through their dreams, or straight away depending on the weakened state of the person. The spirit will then eat the human soul and possess their bodies to commit horrendous acts, including the main trigger being cannibalism. The Wendigo hunts using a variety of powers, abilities, and physical traits. Despite their skeletal frame, a Wendigo's body is very powerful. They have superhuman strength capable of easily ripping a person in two. They are also very fast to the point of barely seen by the naked eye. Let's see. And they have incredible senses, allowing them to track down humans by sight, hearing, or smell from miles away. Their claws and fangs are capable of tearing apart human flesh and break bones. Wendigos are also intelligent creatures, with some retaining their memories and speech. Along with speech, they also have the ability to imitate voices like animals or another person to help lure in their prey. Stories also go that they have long lifespans, if not straight up immortality through age, and have amazing regenerative powers. Wendigos also got a variety of other magical powers too. Give me a second. Should not have striked that sprite before the stream. Anyways, these powers include possession, dark arts, ice and snow manipulation, flight, invisibility, or even capable of space-time to allow them to get to their prey regardless of time and space. But what truly makes a Wendigo terrifying is the fact that humans like you may become a Wendigo. You see, in the Algonquin tribes, there are taboos in which their members shouldn't commit, with cannibalism being one of the most evil taboo of all. However, if a person were to commit the act of cannibalism, whether they were possessed by a spirit, lost in the woods and starving for days, or any other reason, then their bodies and soul will become corrupt and will transform into a Wendigo. It is also said that a person might become a Wendigo as well if they are consumed by excessive greed or a weakened spirit due to cold and hunger. Even committing other taboos like murder by the... Why does that say burrito? That's supposed to say bring out. Anyways, other taboos like that might bring out... might corrupt the soul and risk themselves to becoming the beast. Sorry, error right there. But anyways, with their powers and unsatisfying hunger, one might think that a Wendigo is unstoppable. However, Wendigos do have some weaknesses that humans can use. The main weakness of a Wendigo is silver and fire, and their heart as well. Silver, like any other evil creatures, is effective against a Wendigo. It may be able to kill a Wendigo if it strikes its heart. Fire is effective as well, seeing how its warmth and heat will harm the Wendigo. And like I mentioned about the heart, their hearts are pretty much like a chunk of ice. So if you're able to rip that heart out and burn it and stuff, it will be the most effective way to kill the Wendigo. Even stabbing it with silver will be an effective method as well. Anyways, that was me kind of going off script, but back to the script. There are also shamans who are designed to fight and kill Wendigos using their spells and ceremonies, but it'll still be a hard battle. Boy, what is wrong with my script? Anyways, there are some legends of Wendigo killers. Wendigo Hunters. These are people who train and hunt down Wendigos, who are capable of slaying these creatures. This includes the famous Anwe the Killer, who became a hero for slaying Wendigos. And, aw man, I already mentioned that before. Well, I'm just going to mention it again. Oh, hey Lord Ame, how you doing? Let's see. The other method is ripping the ice heart out and letting it burn in intense fire for hours, though it's easier said than done. Yeah, that was what I was meant. I'm glad you're doing great, Lord Anwe. Uh, on this stream, we're talking about the Wendigos. Anyways, continuing on with this. Now, other native tribes seem to have other cannibalistic monsters that are seem to be related to the Wendigos. Some tribes might mix the two, but I believe these are separate creatures due to some key differences. And pardon my pronunciation, but of these are the Kee-Wakw, Chenoo, Wechuge, Chenoo, and Atshens. The Kee-Wakws are Abenaki cannibal giants that are half human and half animal. The Algonquins Chenoos are described as ice giants similar to the Wendigo, except for overwhelming warm bodies and a method to revert them back to humans, though this is rarely the case. Wechuges from Athabascans are man-eating beings that come to existence when a person commits horrible taboos like cannibalism, or become possessed by the power of ancient giant spirit animals. That might be a creature I may try to talk about later on in a future Creature of the Week stream. Anyways, as for the Wechuge's descriptions, they could be anywhere from famine humanoids to half humans, half animals, to being made of ice, or even having wings. The Chenoo from the Mikwam, Mikmaq, these people described the Chenoos as wild, hairy giants, kind of like a mix of a Wendigo and a Bigfoot in a sense. And the Inuit Atshens are wide-mouthed, hollow-eyed cannibal spirits from ancestors who are victims of cannibalism and permafrost. Now then, in the myths and legends, there are a few stories of the Wendigo told. One of these tells of the first ever Wendigo. According to the story, a lost hunter during a cold winter resorted to cannibalism, forcing them to eat another person's flesh. After that, they transformed into the first Wendigo and roamed the forest as an apex predator. Although that seems kind of like a common thing for a Wendigo. So, in another version of the first Wendigo, it tells that a warrior during wartime made a pact with the devil. To save his tribe, he gave up his soul and became the first Wendigo. However, when peace finally came, the people see him as a great monster and banished him. He then became the spirit that haunt the woodlands. Now then. Dark Sprite. Anyways, another story is that of the boy and the Wendigo. Now then. The story goes that a Wendigo captured a boy, but this Wendigo is intelligent and kept the boy alive in order to fatten him up. The Wendigo will use a knife to cut the boy's hand to see if he is fat enough, but the boy wouldn't. This is because he and the Wendigo would travel to different tribes far and wide for the Wendigo to feed a child, and the travel would exhaust the boy. One day they came to a village where the Wendigo ordered the boy to go and eat for a limited time. But the boy took this chance, and wait, where did I? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I kind of lost track of where I was. Anyways, the boy took this chance and told the villagers about the Wendigo. The Wendigo tried to pretend to be the boy's father, telling him not to lie through the woods. But the people wasn't fooled and attacked the Wendigo. After what I would assume to be a rough fight, they managed to cut his legs off. They checked to see if the Wendigo died, but they found him eating his own marrow from his cut legs. When the people asked if the legs had fat, the Wendigo told them yes, for he ate many humans and no wonder they are fat. The humans then killed the Wendigo and cut him into many pieces. Which that also seems to be an effective way to kill a Wendigo as well. Anyways, this other story is that of Anwe the Killer. In this story, there was a village that was plagued by Wendigos, and the people called for a hunter for help. This was when Anwe, a skilled hunter, appeared and took the job. But instead of searching the woods, he decided to scout out the people of the village, believing the Wendigos might be hitting them on the people. He observed sorry. He pretty much observed a large family with a elderly father and 7 sons and found that they are the Wendigos. So he set a trap. He first disguised himself as a thin, poor man trying to hunt some beavers at a beaver dam. He was able to trick the father, and once he got him to the beaver den, he swiftly killed him. However, he prepared himself because he knew that the 7 sons had sensed their father's death and would come rushing in. Anwe killed the first 5 with ease. The 6th son, upon arriving, became a full Wendigo to attack, but he also killed him too. When the 7th son arrived, he pleaded for his life, but Anwe doesn't show mercy and killed him regardless. He then hid their bodies in the beaver den and waited for the wives to show up. The elderly wife showed up and immediately realized what happened, so she revealed her true Wendigo form to attack. But Anwe was prepared and killed her. He then demanded the rest of the wives that are humans to move aside. A few of them does, but the rest revealed their Wendigo forms and attacked Anwe. But he swiftly defeated them. Oh, yeah, it is pretty scary. Wendigos are terrifying creatures. Anyways, luckily Anwe was able to defeat the Wendigo wives. Let's see. And he pretty much killed all the Wendigos. He then had the human wives help him to remove their icy hearts and burn it in an intense campfire. For Anwe knew that it would surely destroy them once and for all. The Wendigo hearts burned to ash and the village was safe from the threat. Now, these Wendigos are truly terrifying creatures, as Lord Anwe mentioned before, that plagues the human body and soul. But they also plague the mind as well. You see, there is a mental disorder that is named after these cannibalistic creatures called the Wendigo psychosis. The psychosis caused one to crave human flesh and cause paranoia and fear of becoming a Wendigo, or cannibal in this case. Some symptoms include paranoia, hallucination, anxiety, violence, and intense craving of human flesh. These hallucinations seem to involve the Wendigo. In fact, people will believe that a Wendigo spirit is possessing them, which results in a human flesh craving and murderous intent. One of the most famous cases of Wendigo psychosis is that of Swift Runner. He was a Cree trapper back in 1878. He ended up developing Wendigo psychosis during a harsh winter. When he was caught, he told the authorities that a Wendigo entered his dreams and told him to eat his family. And, yeah, unfortunately he ended up killing them and eating them. But despite this mental illness, he was tried and hanged for the murder of his family. Kinda dark, but that's with a lot of these myths and legends. Anyways, now, this one's gonna be more of a controversial topic to talk about. For, as we all know, Wendigos in modern times don't really appear like the descriptions that I mentioned before. After all, instead of seeing them as skinny, thin humanoids, you will see the Wendigos as a deer-like hybrid monster with antlers and a deer head and hooves and all of that bullshit. Well, we will have to blame Hollywood again for that. Much like the vampires, werewolves, and zombies, Wendigo 2 is plagued by Hollywood and writers that misrepresented these man-eaters. However, I really can't place the blame on Hollywood solely. After all, in 1910, a horror writer named Algernon Blackwood made a short story that he called The Wendigo. In this story, he depicted the Wendigos as a type of forest demons and made them more beast-like with antlers. He also had some kind of racism against native folks, and his writings kind of showed that. So, anyways, pretty much after that, more people pushed toward the idea of the antler Wendigo in pop cultures instead of relying on the native origins. Eventually, other writers like Stephen King added their own twist to the Wendigo. And eventually, Hollywood relied more on non-native views of the Wendigo that took took those inspirations to create the movies of the antlered version. Boy, I have butchered this big time. Anyways, basically what I'm saying is that all of this eventually led to the creation of the modern Wendigo that is known today. Pretty much as a mindless feral beast like a wild hairy zombie. Now then, there are also some other infos and facts about the Wendigo that I need to tell y'all. So here are some random facts about the Wendigo that you may or may not know about. Number 1. Like another native creature, the Skinwalker, which I do plan on talking about him in a future Creature of the Week stream, Wendigo's names are also considered cursed. In fact, it's because of it having a cursed name that people don't often speak about it, for they fear that it brings forth the Wendigo spirit. Wendigos seem to fall under a category of cursed beings born from evil acts, curses, taboos, and other forms of dark magic. In this case, the Wendigos and its cousins are cannibalistic cursed entities. By the way, that was fact number 2, and here is fact number 3. Like vampires, Wendigos are also nocturnal and night creatures, being more active and hunt their prey mainly at night. It's also nearly impossible to fight a Wendigo at night, so it's best to fight them during the day. Number 4. For those wondering about the Wendigos during the spring, summer, and fall time, there's actually an answer to that. So apparently Wendigos will become more dormant and less violent outside of winter. Some will even go through a hibernation process and stay in hibernation until their hunger drive kicks in, which is normally around winter time. But during the rest of the year, they are less violent and even less hungry, though the hunger is still there. Number 5. In some tales, there appears to be a group that's dedicated to hunting down Wendigos, which are the Wendigo Hunters that I talked about before. Though whether they are shamans, expert hunters, or even revived souls from the Great Spirit, that's kind of up to debate, really. Number 6. Along with them being associated with starvation and famine, they are also associated with filth and decay. After all, they have corpse-like bodies in a state of decomposition, so the smell on them is horrible. Whew! Anyways, in Cree mythology, it's said that there is actually a method to prevent someone from becoming a full Wendigo. It says that letting them feast on animal fatty meat and grease will make the person throw up ice, and the body will reject the Wendigo spirit. So, make sure y'all have that on standby, okay? Anyways, number 8. Wendigos also seem to appear in cryptozoology, which is like the study of unidentified animals that could be like partly real life, but also partly fictional, like in myths and stuff. Anyways, the reason that they're in the cryptozoology is because there's actually been sightings and reports of Wendigo-like creatures in the northern parts of US and Canada. Now, I need you guys to remember this. Cryptozoology do have mythical creatures in their categories, and the Wendigo to cryptozoologists is considered one. To some extent. Number 9. Wendigo and his cousins are considered cannibal giants due to some mythology saying that a Wendigo will grow in size in proportion to its meals, causing it to always remain hungry. That's why Wendigos and others are considered giant-based creatures. Number 10. In the 20th century, there were multiple cases of Wendigo psychosis and reports of Wendigo's possessions in Canada like Quebec and US. This obviously includes the Swift Runner case that I mentioned before. And finally, number 11. This one involves a shaman named Shack Filler. Apparently he has successful Wendigo hunting cases, but he was eventually tried for the murder of a woman that he strangled to death due to believing that she was becoming a Wendigo. And I think there was another case that he was involved with a murder trial as well. Either way, it was kind of bad. Now then, thanks to the native myths and Hollywood, the Wendigo grew to huge sizes in media and pop culture. No pun intended. Anyways, Wendigos are used in horror genres in movies, books, games, and TV shows. Note that these are more of the Hollywood antler Wendigos, so keep that in mind. Anyways, Animal Planet's Lost Tapes had an episode focusing on the Wendigo, with Lord and the footage of a Wendigo attacking park rangers. The Wendigo appear as a monster in Supernatural, where Dean and I think the person's name is Sam. But anyways, they had to deal with one. The horror movies Wendigo 1978, Frostbiters, The Wrath of the Wendigo, and Antlers involved the Wendigo as a monster chasing and eating people. Like I mentioned before, Stephen King even had a hand at the Wendigo, as he used it as a supporting antagonist in his works. This includes the Pet Cemetery, where it seems that the curse of the cemetery seems to be involved with the Wendigo. Anyways, the Wendigo also appears as a major villain in the Marvel comics, who will fight against the Hulk. And the Wendigo also appears in games too, like Dusk, being as a deer demon with red eyes, and Seeking Evil, the Wendigo, where you must burn down totems before the Wendigo gets you. And it was one of these games that seems to depict the Wendigo more accurately is Until Dawn, where Wendigos attack a group of people in a cabin. And finally, to close all of this up, the Wendigo stands as one of the most terrifying creatures of native beliefs. They are a force to be reckoned with that has established taboos and cannibalisms that will ruin lives. These cannibals have shaped many tribes and their way of life, not only in their cultures, but also in survival during the hardships of winters. So be careful if you ever find yourself in the cold nights of winters in the woods of upper North America. And whatever you do not let the hunger consume you. And with that is pretty much it for the Wendigo. So tell me, what did you guys think? What do you think about these terrifying man-eaters and stuff? Do you think that, they look cool with antlers? Do you think that you might be able to stop one? Or do you think that you might be able to resist the urge if you may become a Wendigo yourself? Oh. That's a good stretch. Anyways, let me know in the comments section on my YouTube page. That's good, Lord Anwe. Yeah. Personally, for me, I kind of like the Wendigos without the antlers. Because, one, the original stories are always good no matter what. And two, they just seem far more terrifying as, more of humanoids and stuff that are like corpses and all that. I mean, just look at that right there. If you were to see that, wouldn't you want to wait? If you can. But anyways, that's pretty much it about the Wendigo and stuff. Now, to give some news before I decide to head on out of here, I do plan on doing the Pokemon Nuzlocke stream. That will be Wednesday. Don't know what time though, but I'll let y'all know on the Twitter page. Now then, with all that out of the way, thank you all for coming on this fantastic Creature of the Week stream. I hope y'all had as much fun as I did as we got to learn about the Wendigo and them becoming apex predators in the native woodlands. And if you wish to see more of these, just check me out on my Twitch page and also check me out on Twitter and YouTube as well. And with that, I bid this show adieu and this class adjourn. Anyways, y'all have a good night and stuff. And Lord Anwe, I'm glad that you joined me as well, and you have a good one as well. So, see you guys.